I want to try to make today's message as non self absorbed as possible, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Right? Because I know me. And I think anybody that knows themselves well enough, and, I stop lying to myself, I'm very honest with myself. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I try to turn the weaknesses into strengths, and that don't always work. But I know me. And we're living in a climate, not only now, it's been building up to it, to where some people don't know themselves, haven't been willing to try different things, know that whatever they're doing isn't the best for them, or whoever they're hanging out with don't have their best interests at heart. And knowing these things and still haven't figured themselves out, they still try to tell the world how they should think. Y'all know people like that. We do. I was talking to somebody and he came across the little short I did on the walking pad. Now, somebody sent out a walking pad. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use it down here or if I'm going to use it upstairs. I've been doing my walks because I walk during the day outside of my regular cardio. And I had it set up yesterday just in front of the TV. I had my work computer down here and I'm just down here and I got my steps in. Somebody came across that short and was like, man, why you need that when you got a treadmill? And like an adult, I said, man, because I wanted it. I'm 46. I wanted it. Man, you would have to convince me on why you would need that. I said, buddy, I don't need to convince you of anything. I'm not telling you need to get one of these. Some people live like that in most aspects of life. I just don't happen to. That's all. And the reason for that is because I spent a lot of years convincing me what's possible. Convincing me, yo, you lying to yourself. You need to stop doing that. Convincing me, man, hey, that person cool. Be willing to help them out from a distance, but you probably shouldn't be hanging out with them. It was a lot of that in different areas. I brought a few versions with me today. Me at my prom, about 17 years old, Lil Mike. Me when I had got to my worst, alcoholic / fat Mike. And then me when I was at my leanest. My last deployment on board the USS Peleliu, 2014, lean Mike. I was probably like 8-9% body fat. Wouldn't advise it, but it was a learning lesson because I knew what I needed to do in order to get leaner. That was 12 years ago. I've been able to sustain certain areas of lean. I will never get that lean again because I was just eating tuna, pretty much lunch and dinner on deployment and all this other stuff. But my point is of today's thing, people they'll judge you. They will size you up as soon as you walk into a room or if they see you on social media. It is up to you to control how true that assumption of you is, for them. It's up to you. Now, somebody gonna have an opinion about you no matter what. Bad or good, whatever you doing in the world. You could be out here, you could have ran into a burning house and saved the whole family, and your credit is an 850. Somebody gonna find something. It might be somebody from your past will be, well, he wasn't always like that. He used to go out here. I'm telling you, that's just the world that we live in because we are so busy, caught up, and comparing ourselves with everybody. We are blaming everybody else. This person got this, and they inherited this, and I want this, and it's a weird dynamic. So for me, I just try to stay away from stuff. But people will size you up, and it is my responsibility to make sure that it's as accurate as possible. It won't be possible with some of these folks. Y'all know that. It don't take me saying that, though. Even the versions of me would have sized up, judged other versions of me. Lil Mike wouldn't have took fitness advice from Fat Mike, right? Lean Mike wouldn't have took fitness advice from Fat Mike because he probably would have smelled liquor on him. Fat Mike and Lean Mike were in the Navy together. They probably wouldn't have hung out. They probably would have been cool, seen each other on the ship. What's up? Different lifestyles, different mindsets. And when that happens, there is judgment. There is somebody that's sizing you up. That's how life is. Lil Mike, I used to hoop all the time, play basketball. We were very active. If we went to the court and I saw Fat Mike on that court, we about to get the next game, I'm sticking him. Because I'm going to burn him up. He ain't going to be able to keep up with me. Lean Mike, I don't want nothing to do with him because he look like he be fouling. He probably should be on the football field somewhere. Sizing him up. I'm making a judgment. And we do that with everything. And this is why I said I apologize if this seems egotistical, because I lead with my health. Most of us do. We just don't want to admit it, right? Like as soon as you walk into a room, you're being sized up. But if you can't get your health in check, there's other areas we want to lead with. That's why a lot of us lean into cosmetics. You can have people that can care nothing about their health. And let me take that back. They care, but they haven't figured out how to make it stick because of the bad habits that they just keep establishing over the years, the addictions that they don't want to admit that they have, and things like that. But we care because those individuals will have the brand name clothes, cosmetically good to go. I know cats that will have blood pressure higher than the Eiffel Tower, but would not go to a specific barber because they don't want a bad cut. I know because I cut hair. That's a reality. But rewind this for a little bit. You know you want to be in better shape because you probably posted it. You told somebody. And you probably was like me, right? Now, if I was still 300 pounds, but I had everything going for myself like I have now, right? I'm happy with my career. Do I have ambitions? Yes, I'm an ambitious person. But I was able to get my education for free. I'm happy with my garage gym. I'm happy with my family dynamic. But if I was still that version of myself, I would have constantly reminded myself, man, now, if I can only get this health in check, can anybody relate to that? And if you can't, you don't have to post in the comments and say it out loud. I know you're probably thinking it. I had somebody tell me 2 weeks ago, man, it seems like you're reading my mind. No, I'm just relatable as heck. And you know why you feel like that? It's because you know you want to do it. You know it's something that you want to do. And if you don't do it, and if you was like I was, you'd have been taking them other things that you have achieved, those areas that you were good at, and you would have been throwing that at people. You would have had to define yourself with people because I had a void. I had a void when I was bigger, and I knew it was a void that I just kept falling deeper into. Relatable? So yeah, if I was Dr. Brantley, but 300 pounds, I'm probably going to be one of those people that's going to correct you. Hey, how you doing, Mike? Dr. Brantley. Because I got to feel a sense of purpose, man, and the purpose that I need in my one thing, my one vessel that I'm in to go get the degree, that I'm in to work at this job, that I'm in to be in the military. So when people say, man, there's more to life than working out, a little different, because you in this, living the life, doing different things, meeting people, experiencing different things. So I don't know. It's a little weird when people say that. But I would have a need to feel, to define myself by these things that I achieved. Because the thing that I knew I needed to do, I hadn't done yet. Now, I can tell you now, as somebody that leads with health, I can care less how you judge me when I walk into a room, because I know what vibe it gives off. This is where it gets egotistical, and I'm sorry. If you walk into a room lean and mean, man, you're going to have some people that's thinking you own something. We spoke about that before. You're going to have some people that don't care because they got their own stress and chaos going on in their life. You're going to have some people that respect it because they know what it takes in order to get up every day and work out and eat right and stuff like that. You're going to have all that. The issue is nobody knows the path that's traveled. If somebody sees a picture of lean Mike, there's going to be the assumptions. They probably won't even know I was 300 pounds or a kind of a skinny kid, right? But people won't know because they don't care. They'll look at the end result, and that's when the judgment happens. So if I walk into a room and I want to give off the aura of discipline, and I ain't got my resume with me and my diplomas in hand, or just on my resume a list of the experience that I have in higher education, or if you didn't know I was in the military for 20 years, how am I going to tell you that I'm disciplined before I even open my mouth? It wouldn't even be a fresh cut because I'm bald-headed. But that's kind of a fresh cut, right? Maybe I wear the best outfit. Maybe I have on the best sneakers like I used to when I was Big Mike. Fat Mike would be fresh to death. I've been a sneakerhead since I was in high school. I used to cut my own hair, but I still would go to the best barbers, best smelling cologne, because I wanted to give off the impression of success. But I knew I wasn't successful. See, I'm a little different from other people when it comes to being successful. I could be good in other areas. I was good at school once I figured me out, once I learned how to become an efficient student. I was good with my finances, minus anything that's at Best Buy and anything that has to do with like home gym equipment type stuff and sneakers. That stuff has me. But I'm still good when it comes to my finances. I make sure that I have enough money set aside because when you own a home, it's all type of unforeseen stuff that you can have. I'm good with my finances. I'm good with spotting bullcrap on others that had the same negative traits that I've had. That does not mean that I think people are all bad people, because I know how I was back then. And I wish I had, people in my life that were more patient with me. I did, but some people I pushed away because how I was. So now I know these things. So I got in shape, and I make sure to stay in shape. I told you I do recruiting events at work, and a lot of those recruiting events, people are just there for the information of what we have to offer. It was like that at San Diego State. It was like that when I worked at National. But you will get students that'll have those extra questions. Hey, thank you for the information. I had a question. I'm trying to drop some weight. They're gonna ask you. Even though I'm, a lot of people, unless you've seen these videos, I don't put out there that I'm a personal trainer. I don't put out there that I'm a nutrition coach or I'm a certified corporate wellness specialist and I can create a whole plan. That's not me even giving a plug right now. A lot of people don't know that. They just have that brief interaction with you when you walk into a room because you are a resume of your habits and your lifestyle. That other stuff is a bonus. It is. And we know we want to be in better health because we talk about it all the time. I just say we based off what I seen when I was on social media and just in general. We coming up on January. We know what that means, right? You're going to have somebody that's going to post, the picture of the gym before January. And then once March hit, the gym is easy. You're going to have people teasing. And sometimes these people are the people that just start working out. And it's just like, oh, I'm doing it. Everybody else needs to be doing it. But they forget when they were like the fatter version of themselves or the skinny version of themselves with no muscle. Because that's what we do. We get proud and somehow we forget. See, the thing is, it's biology. It's a human thing, right? If you walk into a room and you in shape, people will pick that up because they're judging you based off what they see. If you walk into a room and you got some white residue under your nose, people might think you're a cokehead. And unfortunately, I apologize for it being egotistical. Nobody really cares about that other stuff until they need you for it. If a job has certain requirements, in order for you to meet the requirements of that job, you got to have this much experience, this trade, this certification, this degree, till they need you for it. But when you walk into a room, what type of impression are you giving off? Y'all know it just as much as I know it. If you see somebody in a certain situation and they don't align with what they're talking about, you might question it. The issue is now is because the way that the climate is be nice, be kind. You ever see that success meme? It costs nothing to be nice and kind. It costs nothing to lie as well. Like it's the truth. It is the truth. So if you want to make sure that you're giving off a perception, because there's a lot that happens when I used to be on social media. People want you to believe that their word is that. Believe what I'm telling me, forgetting that we have eyes and we see how people carry themselves. And I'm sorry, I didn't make it that way. I live in this world just like everybody else. But riddle me this. If I was in here and I had my whole setup and I was Fat Mike, what would be the first thing that you notice about me? Just being real, just being real, not leading with your social media, be nice, be kind, tell people what they want to hear answer. What would be the first thing that you probably think? Man, he got a lot of nice stuff in there. Is he using any of it? This is reality, people. Cheat code is, get up, right? If you don't feel like it, start feeling like it. Right? You had a bad day, figure out what you need to do in order to make it a good day. Hence why I work out. Once I feel like things are starting to shift, I created a space in order to hopefully make myself feel better. It works most times. There are some times I might have to give an extra set, do a faster pace run, go out there to them stairs. I got to fix that. What diet should I use? And I hate the word. I'm just saying I tried paleo, I tried keto, I tried carnivore. It's just the way that I eat. That's how I look at it. Stick to that stuff. Don't lie to yourself. Some people lie. They do. Because when we lie, we think it'll give the perception that we're actually doing what we say that we're doing. We don't like being judged. Just be honest. If you be honest, and I can tell you because I've did those different diets, they all worked because I didn't lie. Now, mentally, emotionally, it's a little different. When you got the carbs, the low carb, that'll impact how your thought process. But if you don't lie, you'll be fine. I don't think there's a magic pill. I don't think there's a pre-workout that supersedes the other. It just depends on the individual and what you like. I've been doing this long enough to know what works for me. And if we can set that aside and stop listening to all the noise, stick to something long enough, we don't stick to stuff. That's what I noticed. We don't stick to something, and something that comes along sounds better, more hip, more fun, then we're gonna gravitate towards that, especially if there's a little bit of a shortcut in there. Faster pace. I said, there we go, faster pace. I struggle with snapping this finger. I run the stairs and people will be like, that don't look like it's fun. That doesn't look like it's fun at all. It's called working out. When you go to work, whether you're an entrepreneur or from 9 to 5, you're going to work. It's work. But it has the benefits. Whether you're somebody that you start feeling the emotions and excitement, you start feeling better once you start working out, or if you like me, when I'm running them stairs, if it's like a tough session and it's hot, maybe my pinky toe is hurt, my knee's a little sore, I always chase how I feel afterwards. I always feel great afterwards. Work, fun, them words don't even align. Some people have fun at work, right? But you're rare if you do that. So when you find that working out is beneficial for you, some of these folks won't like it. But I want to make sure that who I am, it aligns with the judgment that some people have of me. It will not with all. And I figured that out based off of the reactions that I had received from the people that I came up around. Not the strangers, not the people that might come across a post and have something to say. The people that I've known over the years, whether I still knew somebody and we were connected on Facebook from George Washington Elementary School in Compton, or Franklin Middle School in Long Beach, or Woodrow Wilson High School in Long Beach, or when I joined the Navy and I was stationed out here in San Diego, or when I, did that tour in Afghanistan, or Virginia, Norfolk, when I worked at Blockbuster, or when I worked at AMC Theater, when I worked at the Pyramid at Long Beach State, when I worked security, people that I've encountered in my life throughout the duration of time to where I've gotten to where I am now. I ain't supposed to be doing the stuff that I'm doing, because what we do is we see somebody making motion, doing things that they know they need to do for them, and then we throw our stuff in there, right? You didn't grow up in a household like I grew up. My father wasn't there, and this, and they'll just throw all this stuff in there, not realizing these are hurdles that they just keep tripping on themselves, not realizing everybody go through stuff. We just hop over the damn hurdle. Excuse my French. So you think I'm about to see somebody that hops over a hurdle, same hurdle I had going on in life, but I'm going to keep tripping on it? I'm going to try to catch them. Wait. Your father wasn't there just like my father wasn't there. Why are you at? No, people don't want to see you do these things. I am not supposed to be where I am because some people are still where I was. You know what I'm saying? That stings a little. And because, I was able to really just stop buying into my own crap, I was able to progress. And what happens when you do that, that's not fair that you were able to progress and I'm still here. And I am fortunate enough to be a person that no matter what, even when I was at my worst, if I was cool with you, I would still share what I had access to. I did. I always felt better when you would put somebody on game, even though when I was Fat Mike, and there's a lot of just self-harming habits that I had going on. The people I was cool with, hey man, they selling these sneakers over here for the discount. This is where they got the cheapest liquor at. I wanted you to be on game like I was, even though that stuff wasn't beneficial for us. So I ain't supposed to be where I am career-wise for a lot of these folks. I ain't supposed to have the education because I'm lucky and I got access to it. But the people I was in the military with, when I was a nag, if you saw me on that ship asking if you going to school, and I later said, hey man, I'm about to get out. This is what I want to do for a living. Yeah, I ain't supposed to be doing it. I ain't supposed to be in shape in my 40s. Because if you knew me when I was fat, you were constantly reminding me of who I was when I was fat. And then when I was fat, if you was getting at me and you was trying to take shots, dang, Mike, I remember you was in high school. You was skinny. You ain't supposed to be doing this stuff. And it is okay to graduate from who you were. There was a moment. There's always an eye-opening moment to where, I just realized I got to do better. I can't be doing this no more. There's always something. So this was an example of to where I knew how I used to be, what I came up around. That might not benefit me for continue to stay around that, right? So when you go to like in Afghanistan or Iraq at them times, I got out there, I was around mostly Army. And they was like, Mike, just wait till as long as possible to take leave. Go home, spend time with your family, because you don't know if you're going to come home. Real talk, they said that. So I was almost 13 months in country. I waited 8 months before I went home. 8 months. And I went home, and even though I was out there kind of pro bono because I was fixing my credit, I still had a little bit of money. And rented a car, and then I took the car back because my brother-in-law let me use his Cadillac. And man, I went and bought some diamond earrings. I had lost 100 pounds out there, so and all my clothes that I did have was in Virginia. So I bought like all new outfits. I'm rolling around like LA, Long Beach, man. At this time, we drinking Patron. Patron was hitting in like 2008, right? And I hit up a homeboy that I used to hang out with, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna come through, man. I'm out here in country. He's like, man, come through, man. Here's the address. And as he gave me the address, I'm like, yo, that address sounds familiar. He was living with his mom. No shade at him, but I went to his house. He was still living with his mom, 29 years old. So we out there hanging out, man. Man, we having drinks and stuff like that. And some old cats we used to come like hang around came around, man. And a couple of them I really didn't rock with like that. But this is far removed, at least 11 years from high school and years before that. So wasn't really nothing to me, man. We grew up. I'm in the military now. I'm going back to Afghanistan in a week, man. I don't know what's going to happen when it comes time for me to come back home. I'm not worrying about any old beef we had. But I'm rocking like my fits. I remember I had on the Jason Kids, my diamond earrings. You can pick up the vibe that I was doing okay. And these two cats, man, they was like looking at me funny. Now, I don't think nothing was about to happen, or at least I hope not. But I just felt like I was in the wrong place. So I faked like I had a phone call, got in the Cadillac, and I dipped. Because I felt like these cats was about to rob me. One of them just was getting, remember back in the day, you said this, man, it ain't like that no more. And I was just like watering it down. Like, bro, what are you talking about, man? That was so long ago. No, I don't remember, but I apologize if that happened. Everybody getting more drinks in their system is getting more heated. I noticed it, and then I got out of there. And even then, even though I'm not where I'm at now, even then I was still trying to fix my life. At the very least, Afghanistan is what I used to fix my credit. I was in debt that I put myself in. Even then, I realized, man, let me get away from these folks, man. It just don't feel like I should be here. And they don't think I should have going on what I have going on. And I figured that out, man. It was dodge the bullet, I guess. Even though I went back to Afghanistan to So yeah, those phases of life, you embrace them, right? You can't always give yourself grace because it wasn't the best life that you was living. You got to be tough on yourself. You ain't got to be tough on nobody else if that's not your thing, but you got to be tough on yourself because you know the life that you live in wasn't the best for you. And you got to remember that mindset that you had going on during those different phases because they're learning lessons. It'll teach you what you should do, what you shouldn't be doing. Those things that are scary for you, that might seem like, it's a risk in a good way, take the risk, right? Stop doing the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. And we know the things that we shouldn't be doing. It don't take a self-help book or a rando bald-headed dude with no shirt on telling you these things. You know, at the very least, your gut is telling you. Or you do have somebody in your life that's warning you. I remember my uncle years ago, man, and I wasn't until like later when I stopped drinking. I was going back and forth from like San Diego to LA. I'm partying it up in LA, man. And for whatever reason, I had linked up with my uncle. He said, hey, Mike, man, chill out on all that alcohol. It's not good for your health. He was right. Because later on, I just was drinking and just messing myself up. And now he's suffering from some of that stuff. He told me this stuff years ago. And I remember those words to this day. And make it your responsibility because you will be judged. People will see certain things or just a glimpse of you, whether it's on one of these social media platforms. Make it so who you are aligns with the positive judgment. I don't care about the negative stuff. At the end of the day, I always said I sleep better when I get up and I keep promises for myself. Honestly, and I hate to say it, if you somebody that is ridiculed, people have accusations, they're telling you lucky, must be nice until they blue in the face because you're doing the things that you want to do, that's a good spot. Stay away from folks physically. Don't be in people's vicinity because some people ain't got nothing to lose when you do. But that's a good spot because it beats the heck out of the other side of it. Because when I was fat Mike, drunk Mike, nobody really had anything to say to me. I didn't really get as much accusations of being an alcoholic or having obesity. Actually, people were very cool with me. I had a whole group of friends. Because like I said in the previous video, they wanted me to stay that way. When you start doing things that are outside of the box, that are outside of the norm, right? What other people think is possible, but they become norm for you because they are in alignment with your goals and who you hopefully want to be, that's when they're going to come after you. I'm just being honest with you. And that's because I understand that life is tough and things will not go according to plan. Even though I try to do things right every day, there's always going to be an unforeseen slap in the face. But I know I'm not supposed to have what I have going on. And that I'll get accused of that by other people. I ain't supposed to have a good credit score. I ain't supposed to be in shape or kind of lean in my 40s. I ain't supposed to have a decked out garage gym. I ain't supposed to have 10 degrees and no loan debt. I'm not supposed to be working in the job that I told people I was in the military, even though my job was logistics, that I was going to get out and do this job and kind of, depending on who you're talking to, excel at it. You're not supposed to do these things because you're lucky. And a lot of times people will say you're lucky, not because you was walking in the middle of the street and the piano didn't hit you. That's luck. Or you're sitting somewhere and a car didn't jump the curb because a drunk driver hit you. That's luck. People will say that you're lucky because they know what you're doing is impressive to them and they want to do it, but they're not willing to change. So you're lucky because they're not willing to change. And that's not luck. That's lack of accountability. That's lack of ownership. That's lack of self-awareness, to be honest with you. Because if you know that you're doing something that's not in your best interest, you need to stop. Stop like a child. Stop drinking that. Stop eating that. Stop going to bed so daggone late and thinking you cool because you wake up late, going to work late, and then once you get in trouble for going to work late, you be like, they late too, like a child. Stop doing the things you know you shouldn't be doing, and you will be on track. Or I would assume. Yeah, I tell people it's by design. It's intentional. It's in alignment. People will get offended because life didn't work out for them the way that they hoped it would. I wish I can tell you there was a way around that because I have plenty of things going on that didn't work out for me that still don't. Every day, man, I can list out a whole laundry list of things that's just unfair. This isn't right. I've worked hard for this, man, and I'm supposed to have access to this, and this person got it over me because people don't like you. That's just reality. That's just how it is. But it is up to you to get up and do the things that you know you need to do at the very least. So up here and in your heart, you know that you're doing the right thing. So it allows you to get through that unforeseen crap that you will go through. Because it's a bunch of weirdos out here, yo. It's a bunch of weirdos out here that you shouldn't be happy because they're not happy. And no, you will not be able to change the dynamic of these mindsets. It's a lot of evil going on out here, man. Don't get me started on some of the stuff that we know we be wanting to talk about. That's just not my platform, though. I mutter the words discipline and commitment, and I show the things that I did that required discipline and commitment. There's a reason I talk about the doctorate with no loan debt. For one, I work in that career field. Two, I thought that I just wasn't good enough for college. So I excelled to the highest level with a terminal degree. There's a reason that I do these videos with my shirt off, with my six-pack showing. To show you that it's possible, but at the same time, I was 300 pounds. There's a reason that I have a decked out garage gym because I need a shop. I need a workstation to contribute to this hard work of my body, especially that I get older, and I'm willing to invest in it. Everything is at the top tier of my list of things to do, and I've done them. I don't want to be somebody that gets on social media starting out at day one. I have no problem with that. Don't get me wrong, because that might spark your flame, right? That might get you going. But I need to be constantly moving. It's not day one over here. It's day 1,000 something, 5,000 something, because I got to get up and do what I need to do because I've been at the worst stages before. That's all.